Hello. Hello, New Life. Welcome to our Thursday video. So this is Megan. Megan, welcome. Glad to have you here. And Megan has gone through next steps, and she's wanted to become a member, a life of our church. And Megan, we are just excited to have you part of New Life. And I got to know you over the last few weeks, especially, and it's fun to have you around. And the fun things God is doing in you, and the fun things that God is doing through you. And so we're excited to officially, as a member of New Life, welcome you to our church. So hello, welcome, glad you're here.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, that's fun. So tell us how long you and your family been attending New Life.
So it's kind of a fun question with 2020. Like the year of the virtual churches. So I was actually like working Sundays a lot. And so we just kind of really wanted to, once I stopped working in 2020. And so I was like, we get to go to church. And we actually we rotated between our Michigan virtual church, but we've lived here for 8 years. And I kind of was like, we need to find a local church. Like, this is like, somewhere to kind of like plug in locally. And so I kind of like dabbled around a few times, but we drive down Cortero a lot. And I was like, oh, that looks like New Life. That sounds like what we want, a new life with God. So I kind of like looked online a few times. I think I saw like, maybe it was one of the Next Steps video where like it was like an older couple talking about how they used to attend this other church. And then they just felt like at home, and they like listening to the sermons and stuff, and it like just how it's impacted and changed their life. And then we just started watching New Life after that. And then on Easter, I was like, that's it, we're not doing virtual anymore, we're going in person. And so I just like, it felt like it was like, we have to go right now, almost like I was late for something. And like, I grabbed my daughter and we were like, we're going, so we've been in person ever since.
That's great. So I feel like your husband. So
it's
been your husband and your daughter.
Yeah. And then, so my husband works Sundays, so he's been listening to the podcast, and then he's been doing our Rooted group with us since that started. I want to say we're on week 6.
April.
Yeah.
Late April, early.
So we're doing that since Wednesdays. So
that's fun. So you have, we'll get there in a second. You guys are jumping in as a family, and it's fun to have you part of it. So rewind a little bit. So you came Easter, and you kind of slowly got involved. I think I met you maybe a couple of times, even those first few months. And then this past year, you jumped into Next Steps. And tell us about that experience for you.
Yeah, I like, it like plays on that little video before you're like, if you're new, go check out the Next Step table. And and Maureen was out there, and she's like the friendly face. And I filled out the card. And what was really great is like, she's really great at following up. So like, I just felt really welcomed. I felt like really invited. So that was really great connecting. And then it was really easy to do Zoom, because my husband's working. So I actually thought that was really easy, because then I had childcare. And then I got to see other members. I got to meet you. I really enjoyed the content. I actually never filled out like one of those spiritual gifts questionnaires before. So like I filled that out, and then it wasn't just like filling it out and like sending it in either, though. It was like someone looked at it and I was like, hey, like, I don't really know about this. Like, what do you think about this answer? Or like, I don't know, maybe I'm 10 things. I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm any of these. And so I felt like just, there was someone on the other end who cared and who had like some wisdom to help guide me. Yeah.
That's great. So you jumped into Next Steps, and you've jumped into a few places, but what's some of God's teaching you right now in your life?
Oh yeah, I was thinking on this one. I was like, what isn't he? But I feel like so many things. I was like, I could turtle on this for a year. Um, yeah, I'm doing probably being still and working on I'm really working on like staying in the Bible and stuff, because that's kind of something that's newer. Like I really want to get to know that better. And then really like finding the church was like assembling with other Christians and stuff so that I can grow there. And I think the jumping in part was part of that. Like, so I jumped into like the children's ministry. I jumped into the next steps. I jumped into my small group. And when I was like reflecting on that, I'm like, I think that was part of it. Because like last year, I feel like becoming like a God center family was kind of like a goal for us. But then I feel like this year was kind of extending that out, maybe outside to our home, and like jumping into other things and not just like through the church. And now we're like talking a little bit more with like service. Maybe that's with like the children's ministry stuff. I signed up for VBS, which I feel like that's a little bit,
Yeah.
so I do think that, just like starting to serve is, it's like fun. I feel like it's really growing in my heart, and something that's been exciting, not scary.
Yeah. I think when some of the conversations you and I have had, you've always probably been a very optimistic person, a very positive person. What I see different in you is that there's a sense of joy now.
Yeah.
You're just not you're not positive. Like you're positive, but it's not. But there's a depth to your positivity. There's a depth to your optimism. There's a depth of joy in your life, and so it's fun to see, God's work in your life, because you are growing in your relationship with Him. Your family is growing in your relationship, their relationship with God, and it comes. I see a depth of joy in you it's fun to watch and see play out for you. So absolutely. And you said like you said, you jumped in. You're involved in children's ministry. You're doing day camp here next week. You're involved in the Rudy group with your husband and your daughter. You've jumped in lots of places. I know there's more places you and I have talked about wanting to jump in and get involved. And so you're deeply engaged. Tell me, so I think it's like week 7 right now. But what has been your Rudy group experience been like for you?
Oh, so much more than we thought. Like we like we kind of like instantly connected, and it's been really fun. Like, and most of us have kids, but not all of them, even though it was kind of like this kids group. And we just kind of open up. I've really seen, what's been really excited for me is I was really praying for like my husband to kind of come along this journey, and he's really jumped in too, which I wasn't sure was going to happen. I wasn't sure really how that was going to play out, and he's kind of jumped right into. And then we've like built all these connections, like we just actually needed like a prayer request for someone today, and so I was like, oh, we'll just text them. So we texted our little text group, and it was like, okay, it was like super calming, and it was just really exciting. Like we just have people around us, and instead of like being alone in our homes and just having like just the Bible or just that, like we now have this little small group, little family that we have right now.
That's fun. Very cool.
And we're learning hard things, there's some hard discussions in there. Like, oh, whoa, I never thought about this. And the rooted stuff. So I was like, but it's good stuff though. And everybody's got it's such a diverse perspective. Like I just love it.
That's great. So somebody's watching this, and maybe they're new to New Life, maybe, or maybe they've been attending New Life for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, who knows how long, but they feel disconnected, they feel disinvolved right now, whatever that might be. What would you say to them, Megan? as you jumped into New Life?
I would say that you don't have to feel disconnected. Definitely that there's a joy and there's a peace that you can experience. And I think that there's like a different level of your spiritual growth or with God on a different level when you jump in. Yeah.
That's great. Where would you encourage them? Where would you encourage them to jump in at?
Maybe
where should somebody start?
The next steps table. Yeah, because I really wasn't sure what my gifts were at all, actually. Like, might say, oh, well, you seem like I do love kids, and I love teaching and working with children, but I really wasn't sure if that was the direction I needed to go or anything like that. So I really think that finding that, just that little nudge and that little guidance, and maybe having that person to like hold my hand a little bit in the beginning and kind of follow up with me was a really like comforting way to jump in.
Yeah, that's great.
Like I didn't have
I
to
agree.
do it alone. Yeah, you don't have to do it alone.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Like, if you feel that way, take Megan's advice. Jump into next steps. That's an easy way, a non-threatening way to connect with somebody else and help you answer some of those questions that you're wrestling with of why you're feeling disconnected. And join the club. Like, people who are walking through that all feel that way in some capacity. They're all asking different questions, and so it's an easy way to kind of help you cipher through how you could best engage or not feel disconnected in life with the church and what that might look like. And we want to help. We want to help you in that, and that's the easy way to kind of answer that question. So, Megan, we are excited that you and your family are a part of New Life. We're excited for what God is going to continue to do in your family and through your family in New Life and in our community. And today we'll have to get your husband through this one day here sometime soon. But for you, Megan, we are excited to welcome you as a member of New Life and excited for what God is going to do and how God is going to use you to make an impact in His kingdom here. So welcome, and we are glad you're part of our church.
I do want to share something with you. So at the start of 2021, we have like a praise jar in our house, and on our list was to find a church. And so I filled this out. I think it was when I completed next steps, but I didn't write my date. So I just wanted to share that.
Thank you for sharing that stuff. So yeah, we are glad you're here and glad your family's here. So welcome, and we're glad to participate with you. So thanks, Megan.
Thank you.